Welcome back to GCTV as we prepare to return to Cannes for the second and deciding round of Global Champions League action. And it's going to be incredibly exciting with just 7 points separating the top 9 teams. Now, the Berlin Eagles and Hamburg Giants failed to deliver once again. And there are a handful of teams on just 4 faults, led by the Shanghai Swans, that will make this second round of Cannes and the overall championship incredibly tight. There was, however, just a single team that delivered a double clear, and that is the team of the Prague Lions, led by Brian Mogri and Peter de Vos.
De Vos to the upright. That's still standing. First team to score double clear. Here come Prague Lions. Mogri is clear. De Vos is clear. The time is good.
Time for us to return and get ready for Global Champions League Round 2. Let's head to the beautiful city of Cannes.
In the heart of the French Riviera. Glitz, glamour, and style. Cannes welcomes elite riders for a dazzling horse show and top-class sport. Longines Global Champions Tour at Stade des Paris from the 2nd to the 4th of June.
Will the Prague Lions be able to win this weekend's competition on a double clear? Because they know that with so many teams just one rail behind them, that the Prague Lions have absolutely no room for error. That if a single fence were to fall and there was perfection from the teams before them, this could go right down to the wire. It is Super Saturday. We have the second round of Global Champions League to come, and of course an LGCT Grand Prix later on this evening as well. So let's dive straight into the action. Let's head straight to Cannes. I was going to say bonjour, but that perhaps is not too right. Is it? Bonjour, Monsieur Debarca. Nice to have you, Frederick. Thank you for joining us, and we are excited for Super Saturday. The argument perhaps could be around the lighting, Frederick. We spoke so much about it in GCL Round 1, but now Round 2 will be played under daylight. Will some of the riders be happy about this, I would imagine?
Yes, I think so. I think those that struggled with the floodlight and that didn't make a horse or rider change will find this a better situation for them. And of course, maybe there's even less changes because of this situation, that riders thought, okay, in round 1 it was a little bit difficult, but now under just the sunlight it'll be easier to ride this horse in this GCL class, so I'll stick with that horse. We'll get better on the second day. So that's actually quite a fair way of thinking, that for many horses and riders this will be that the difficulty of the floodlight is taken away. Now, of course, there's other difficulties. That's the slope, that is the size of the arena, and of course the higher fences in this second round of GCL.
So many challenges set by Uliana Vazani. We'll find out how the riders deal with that later on tonight. Frederick, we were of such high praise for the Prague Lions because of their double clear, in particular with that performance of the young horse of Peter de Vos. We're going to dive into the tables extensively throughout the show. But talk to me about what another good weekend for Prague Lions will look like. What does that do for the table? What does it do for the championship as well? If the Prague Lions either win or at least just podium today, how could that possibly change things?
I think you have to look at the big picture. Prague Lions is a team that started in 2018, so they've been competing 4 seasons on the Global Champions League. They have never, ever completed a stage on a clean sheet, so they're still on track for that clean sheet. They were also on track in Saint-Tropez, where De Vos had a fault, but in the end, based on their combined times, they still got ahead and they still won the stage in Saint-Tropez. But they never finished a stage on the clean sheet, so that would be a first ever. Then, of course, if you remember 2021, they always hovered around 4th, 5th position at every stage, and they missed that final leap into top 4. Now, actually, that leap becomes very reasonable because they never finished on the podium until the last stage last year. That was in Chamorim. That's why they actually missed out on a top 4 position and on the semi-final at the GC playoffs in their hometown in Prague. Now, with already a win under their belt and maybe now a second podium finish coming up, this is very interesting for the Prague Lions. There's not so many teams that have stood twice on the podium already. We're halfway through here. This is the 7th stage of 15 stages. So Prague Lions, we spoke about them earlier in the build-up of the season as a team that we would put into top 7, top 6. Now maybe this is a moment where they can score valuable points coming into top 4, especially with their rivaling teams not performing so well.
Absolutely, and now to bring in Niels Brainshiels as well. We'll talk about changes later, but it does strengthen the team tremendously. Frederick, we like to play the what-if game here on GCTV, and we've prepared a as it stands table now, suggesting that if the weekend were to end at the end of GCL Round 1, what would the overall table look like? I know you've done some maths. Take us through some of the more remarkable changes that the table could look like if it ended the way it did now.
Well, the big surprise, not really surprise, but the big change is that Prague Lions would go from 5th straight into 2nd, just a few points behind the leaders, behind Berlin Eagles. That's a first big change compared to previous, or to the post-Hamburg standings of Global Champions League. Also, Hamburg Giants would drop out of the top 4. They would go to 5th. Madrid in Motion stay level. Also, Stockholm Hearts would be lowered by 1 position on the championship table. So that's really what stands out. If it would end the way it ended in round 1, that would be how the championship would look like, with Prague Lions now in 2nd, Berlin Eagles powered by Fodich Rajport still in the lead, 3rd for Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M, and Madrid in Motion in 4th. But what you really need to understand is it's not just about the teams that sit between them. It's about Prague Lions finishing on the podium and getting that maximum 30-point score out of the weekend, and the other teams scoring way less. If there's just as many teams at the end of this 2nd round between Prague Lions and, for example, let's say Madrid in Motion, but Prague Lions don't finish on the podium, Madrid in Motion still drop, they don't get that extra point score that you get if you finish in 1st for 30 points, 2nd for 25 points, or 3rd for 21 points on the championship table. So it's crucial to get that maximum point score in 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place. That's where you get the difference on your rivaling teams.
All right, Frederick, that is a lot to try and digest. We're going to dive into the tables a lot more in this pre-show. We'll let you head into or stay where you are, in fact, in the arena, get your course walk out the way, and we're going to catch up with him again to find out about some of the team changes and about what Uliana Vizani has put together for round 2 of the Global Champions League. And maybe we can actually bring up that virtual ranking again for you once more and show you a little bit later on how it looks had things ended at the end of GCL Round 1. But first, as we recall, Prague Lions, the only team on a double clear. What a performance from Brian Mowgre and from Peter de Vos in round 1. Let's take you back to that double clear.
Mowgre en MDM vivre le rêve. Nice and straight to Longin, just over the back rail. It looked like he squeezed a little bit and it gets a little bit strong. Brilliant move from the American. You could think take the wide turn to take your time, but it's actually better to take the inside turn and kind of force the horse to sit on the hind leg. And Mowgre, with a good time, he's not super fast, but he's clear in 74.15 seconds. Brian Mowgre rides a clear for Prague Lions.
It's amazing. Like, it's a total dream come true to be able to do this, and this is a horse that I've had for about 7 years. He's my own horse, so it's really special to be able to do it with him.
De Vos brings in a new horse, Naskar van Siamshof, one of the youngest horses of the field. De Vos to the upright. That's still standing. First team to score double clear. Here come Prague Lions. Mowgre is clear, De Vos is clear, the time is good. And they take the lead here in their first round of Global Champions League in Cannes. Prague Lions ahead of the rest of the field, the only team on double clear.
I'm very happy. My horse jumped really good. It's only 9 years old, and I was a little bit. I didn't really know how he was going to react here in the ring. It's the first. It's not so much experience, and under the floodlight, and it was a big class, not so many clears. So I was a little bit not worried, but I was a little bit curious how he would take this course, and yeah, then he jumped it really easy clear. So I'm more than happy today.
So that's a poor performance from the Prague Lions, puts them in pole position for today's second round of Global Champions League action. But they will know that there are a handful of teams that are right behind them. I remind you again that there are 5 teams on 4 faults, and that gives them absolutely no room for error. Madrid in Motion, Miami Celtics, Stockholm Hearts, and the Rome Gladiators all on 4. However, it was the 4 of the Shanghai Swans, the fastest of the 4s, that puts them in second place. And out of those teams on 4, they will be the team to chase. Let's show you again that performance from the Shanghai Swans in round 1.
Alman and Kühner, and Alman is on solid gold, not with the inside turn. Alman goes wide. Final 2 fences, and it's a clear coming up from Alman and solid gold for Shanghai Swans. Here they come, and it stands as a clear. And Kühner now trying to reproduce. I don't think he'll be as fast as Alman, but this double clear will stand long. Oh, and it's not a double clear. It could have been double clear. It is 4 in the end for Shanghai Swans.
The Shanghai Swans, they were the fastest of those 4s. The fault going to Max Kühner and a clear from Christian Allman. But just behind them are that of the Rome Gladiators. Fernando Martinez Sommer and Shane Breen on Charlie Harper and Z7 Ipswich. The fault coming from FMS rather, and Shane Breen delivering an important clear for the Rome Gladiators, who will feel very much in the hunt on their overnight score of 4. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, trying to reignite their championship ambitions, will again, like the rest, start today on a score of 4. Lily Atwood with the fault in round 1, and Nicola Philipparts jumping clear. Today, Olivia Philipparts comes in for him, or comes in alongside him, shall I say, on H&M Legend of Love, and Stockholm Hearts will also start on 4. Miami Celtics, how great to have Jessica Springsteen back, making her 2022 season debut in round 1. She jumped a very, very good clear, and unfortunately for her teammate Anthony Condon, a fault in that combination. It leaves Miami Celtics on a slightly slower score of 4. And then the final of the teams on a score of 4 is that of Madrid in Motion. Much like Jessica Springsteen, Eric van der Vleuten making his season debut in 2022. He jumped a clear, but then Michael van der Vleuten in that same combination with Bovel Z taking a fence down, leaving them on 4, and they are the slowest of the scores on 4. But if any of those teams jump double clear this afternoon, they will know that they have put the pressure on Prague Lions, and then all of a sudden there will be a huge amount of pressure coming in on the final team, the Prague Lions, who will be out the gate last. However, the championship leaders, where does that leave us as far as the overall championship is concerned? Well, they showed up with Christian Kukuk and Owen McMahon. What took place in round 1 for your championship leaders?
It's McMahon who goes first. 76 seconds. How is he for the clock? Owen McMahon looking for his first clear. He goes very wide in the line from the plank to the rollback. He's not going to make the time. Owen McMahon, 76 seconds, speed up, get there, keep the team on clear. Oh, he's going to finish outside the time allowed. Yep, there's 2 time faults. 2 time faults for the Berlin Eagles. A reoccurring theme for Owen McMahon. Here's Christian Kukuk. And Kukuk, one of the most successful riders. Oh, and the back rail is gone at fence 2. This is an interesting situation. What is the difference at the top of the leaderboard? The difference is only 10 points. Kukuk is better for the clock. He won't struggle with the time allowed. Here's the final fence for Kukuk. It is 72 for 5 and 4 faults for him. They are on 6. Pirates on 5, Hearts on 4, Swans on 4.
Actually, I had a very stupid fault on number 3. Just the concentration was maybe not high enough on that moment, and that annoys me a little bit. But okay, anyway, first round is done. A round more to go on Saturday, and hopefully it will work better for us then.
So the Berlin Eagles find themselves in 8th place going into GCL round 2 today, and because of that find themselves essentially right at the bottom of the top half of the table. So what does the bottom half of the table look like? And one perhaps might be quite surprised to see the Paris Panthers there on a score of 7, especially bearing in mind the fact that Harry Smolders jumped clear. It was a difficult day for Ben Meyer and Celtic HB. Let's show you what took place with the Paris Panthers and how then they were able to get themselves to an overnight score of 7.
Smooth, real Harry Smolders style into the combination. Big swing over the Oxer. And it starts with a clear maybe from Harry Smolders. Every double clear starts with a first clear. And are the Prague Lions going to get company on the top of the leaderboard? They were slow in 1:49.12, and these are fast. It's a fast clear by Harry Smolders. Here's Ben Meyer on Faltic. A clear takes the team ahead of Prague Lions, gives the team the overnight lead. Oh, and he landed steep after the Oxer, and Meyer had to give him quite a ride jumping into that combination. Keep an eye on that. Over the Oxer in the heart of the triple, which comes up now when it's Faltic who slides to a stop. Can you believe that?
Faltic, he over-jumped a little bit the 2 jumps before then. It was a steady 7. Maybe looking at the video now, maybe I over-corrected the distance a little bit. And it's like he didn't sort of look for the jump and I didn't sort of tell him to go. So not a good start. I tried to make up as much time as I could at the end of the course to keep us in with some kind of a chance on Saturday, but not the start we wanted.
Looking destined for a double clear, the Paris Panthers, and then that move from Celtic HB unfortunately costing 7 points for them. Again, credit must go to Ben Meyer and to Celtic, because many other riders perhaps would not have come out of that only with 7. So Paris Panthers find themselves 9th on the standings at the end of round 1. And if you go further down, you will see last week's winners in Hamburg, your defending champions, Falcons United, on a score of 12. Tough opening day for Edwina Tops-Alexander. She jumped 12. Laura Kraut jumping clear, keeping the team on 12, but they find themselves down in 14th place. What about the Hamburg Giants? Again, after elimination last weekend, now 16 for them, puts them in 15th place. Something some might argue a little bit rare happening to Simon de Lestre, losing a stirrup, and it cost him dearly. Let's go back to that moment for Simon de Lestre.
Simon de Lestre on Hermes Ryan. Lost his stirrup there. Lost his stirrup in the turn just as it back in time. A very deep one. Oh, and a hard fault for Hermes Ryan. And it was nearly de Lestre unfocused to the 4th fence. And all of a sudden you've got 2 fences down, 3 fences down.
Now, isn't it amazing how the losing of that stirrup proved to be so costly? Let's take you back to that moment and just zoom in and show you exactly how and where Simon de Lestre lost the stirrup, what the effect of that was on MS Ryan, because quickly 1 fault turned into 2, turned into 3, and before you know it, the team in serious pressure, way down the championship, or way down the overall table as far as Cannes is concerned. What will that do for their championship standings? We will find out by the end of the night. Now, we caught up with Munaim Dunny, the team manager of the Hamburg Giants, to try and pick his brain to find out how the Hamburg Giants are feeling after back-to-back disappointments.
How are you feeling now, championship-wise? And don't say everything is still possible, and I know there's still a lot possible, but is there a little bit of nervosity, animosity? How's team management looking at what is happening?
No, that's one of my strong points. I'm very quiet. I like to see everything. I make a step back. I look at the scenario. Tomorrow we have some changes. Bart Bless will be coming in with his best horse, Crisscross. Fiumicino will be joining him tomorrow. 2 fast horses. Well, 2 safe horses, let's say. So we're going to try and keep the damage as low as possible. And for the remaining season, I've made some adjustments yesterday and today on the plannings.
Okay.
You have to make changes in the coming shows. Make sure that we have 2 strong riders in case one has a bad result. Or, for example, Bart has an injured horse here now. He's only relying on Crisscross for the rest of the weekend. That we can change and have a good replacement every time.
So that 12 from Simon de Lestre in the opening round really damaging the Hamburg Giants' hopes of trying to find success in Cannes. What will the impact then be on the overall championship standings? We showed you a virtual table a little bit earlier on that if things were to end they did now, then all of a sudden Hamburg Giants, who we were praising a couple stages ago following elimination in Hamburg, if and when they disappoint again today, it will significantly dent their championship standings. Back to Frederick de Backer in Cannes. Frederick, we've heard from Munaim Dani. I like that you pressed him to try and get some information from the team manager. Let's find out then how Bart Bless feels. What is the feedback? What is the reaction from the Hamburg Giants? Frederick, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mark. Bart Bless, I just saw you standing with team manager, with Munaim Dani, with your teammate for this second round of GCL round 2 here in Cannes. What is the plan? Are you thinking about being competitive, or are you thinking about keeping it nice and easy and hope for other teams to make mistakes?
Yes, I think we have to do a nice clear round today, also for qualified for the Grand Prix. Our team is now not so good in the standing, but it is a nice course, and it's a little bit choice you have, a long distance or bad, a little bit depend the horse, but he built it nice, selection.
What do you say it's a nice course? What stands out for you? What is specific? What are the possibilities?
Yeah, you can start nice in the 8 gallop to number 2, and then it's a little bit longer 6, and then there's an option for the ox to the combination there. That is you can do it on 7 and also on 8 on the outside. And a little bit option there, and then yeah, I think some people individual go also much inside and they follow after the combination in 7 gallop to the plank and make the combination there, and then inside to the oxer, and there's a long 4. It's a little bit risky distance there to the double vertical.
We spoke about the fact that GCL round 1 was held on the floodlight. Now we're in the sunshine, it's still daylight. Does that have a positive effect, you think, on the horses, on the combinations?
I think it's positive. Some horses also yesterday evening was a little bit special in the lights there. There's some mistakes and some horses a little bit lucky, and it's not so easy here.
No, it isn't easy at all. You bounce off the walls on this square arena. How does the slope ride? Does it affect you, the downhill slope, or do you not feel it?
No, I not feel it so much, but it's a little bit depend the horse. And when you have a horse with scope, it's here better. You can wait a little bit and hold the legs on, and then when you have a horse with a short canter, and then you have to fix a little bit.
Now, if you have to ride, the stride gets open and the balance gets
yes.
on the forehand.
That's a little bit risky, yeah? With the horse, when you flow it up and then the body go down, and it's not so easy.
Okay, Bart Bless, Hamburg Giants. You're early to go, unfortunately, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you later. Interesting about what he says there, Mark, about those horses that were a little bit under the impression or impressed on day 1. I'm thinking about, for example, of Faltic with Ben Meer. You showed the images about what happened. I think that had something to do with the light as well. So I think Ben Meer will have somewhat advantage with the fact that we are jumping under normal sunlight and not under floodlight.
Absolutely. Nice bit of reaction from Bart Bless there. Frederick, I wanted to talk about the changes, but now since we're talking about the arena, let me just park the changes for a second. Let's continue that conversation that you and Bart Bless just picked up a few moments ago. Take us through what Uliana Verzani has designed for round 2. You're talking about the slope, we're talking about the daylight. How will things play in your mind today in round 2?
Well, Bless spoke about a few very interesting lines, and we're actually standing at one of those lines where there are some options. It starts right here. This is actually already fence 5. It's a single standing oxer. It jumps down the line towards the in-gate, and then you have got this this bend down the hill, and that goes into the combination of Longines, and it's actually an outside 8, or an outside 9, or an inside 8 to make it over to this combination. Then you have that combination of Longines with the vertical and the oxer. And last night, Uliana Verzani tried something unusual, something a little bit special, and he made a line from the double of uprights on 6 strides on a 90-degree corner, 6 strides to a big oxer. Now, he kind of replicated that. Actually, he added 1 stride. There's an option for 7 or for 8. Out of this combination that we just walked, and then up to that plank, very delicate plank of the playoffs in Prague. So that's a line that I think really stands out. The option from the Oxer into the combination, and then again, depending on how you jump that combination, another option to the black plank. And it's that black plank. The plank always jumps difficult, but the fact that it's black, that it's got some width to it, makes it a little bit easier to jump than those white planks that we have at Fence 4. We'll just listen to what Olivier Philippaerts has to say about this line coming from Global Champions League. I'll let you turn around. Global Champions League into the double off Longines and then up here. What do you make of it?
I've walked around a few times. I have to say, actually, 5, 6. I didn't walk it. I'm just going to look it from the eye. I think it can make so many different things. It's up to the horse. I think. Yeah, I just jumped number 5, watch the double, and then again here, it looked when you walk at 7 long, but it could be 8 for a couple. Maybe for mine, it also will be 8 strides. I think it's a line. I'll watch it from my eye, and then I'll see how it comes.
Okay. You're a little bit, in a positive way, fired up.
Yeah.
To get some good results here. It's been a while. You wanna get something on the board again, don't you?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I think my horse is in good shape the last few weeks and has been jumping very well. So I gave her a day off yesterday. Just jumped a small class, tried to get as best possible possibilities today as I can. So hopefully I can also put off till the end.
All right. It's 2 rounds. And a jump off. All right, talk to you later. That's Olivier Philippaerts. He's motivated, trust me, he's really motivated. It was in the jump off actually yesterday. If you remember, Zayado didn't jump so well in Miami. Yesterday, a very good round from Zayado jumping, I think it was double clear. Oh, the last fence down, that's what he had. Actually, right here as well yesterday for Olivier Philippaerts. But it's interesting to hear how Philippaerts even says, it's too difficult to make a plan. With so many options, I really have to ride it from my eyes, see where I land, see how I land, see how my horse lands, and then make my plan on that. Now, of course, he has got a very adjustable horse in that superstar H&M Legend of Love, and it gives him some possibilities to switch around and to make those last-minute decisions. Somewhat less rideable horses, if they have an unfavorable landing or an unexpected landing, it will be much more difficult to adjust the situation, to adjust those strides. In the first part, it's actually okay. With 8 and 9 as an option, there is still a lot of room. But here, with those 7 or 8 strides up to the plank, with a delicate plank, you need to come really well balanced, and that is going to be one of those difficult parts, Mark. I just want to show you one more thing. And this is what I think Peter Vos called the Mikado fence. The heaviest thing about these combinations is actually not the wing, it's the pole, which is completely different than what we had out in Mexico. So very light wings, very airy, nothing that backs the horses off. And so this is going to be also, what is it? We are at 8A, 8B, something to keep in mind with an potential inside turn to follow. Very delicate material could also be crucial here in Cannes.
I still want to just point out your ability to moonwalk to the GC playoff plank was sensational, Frederick. I'm very jealous. The ability to walk backwards and talk like that was outstanding. I'm glad you grabbed Olivier Philippaerts because I take a look at Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M. I take a look at Prague Lions making bringing in reinforcements today, making strong changes. Take us through perhaps those 2 teams and who else stands out for you, Frederick, who have really tried to strengthen their lineups for GCL round 2.
Well, obviously, we have to talk about Prague Lions with the Vos switching to Claire, with Bruinseers coming in, and with Brian Mowgri coming off the team. Bruinseers, who only jumped the Lux in the first day on the small class, just the first phase. That horse should be very fresh. It has been a warm weekend, so they bring in 2 very fresh horses. That's at least the thinking behind that whole horse change, that whole concept. For the rest, lots of rider changes. Not so many horse changes, of course. Every rider brings in a different horse. We also have to keep that in the back of our mind, that if you bring in a new rider, you also bring in a new horse. So I think it's about the freshness, and maybe some people also thinking about switching from GCL to LGCT should they qualify, that again they can swap there, that the horses don't have to jump 2 rounds. So I think they're balancing on many different thoughts, especially with those odd scores where teams might be thinking that they are out of reach of the podium. They just want to secure what they have. They don't want to be super competitive for the podium. That might be an idea. Is it so that we will have only those podium challengers from the clears or the 4s from round 1? It's a possibility that we only have 6 teams that can battle it out. But history has learned us that even with 6, 7, and here in Cannes, even with 8 faults, you can finish on the podium with this ring being so difficult, with that square shape, with the slope bouncing off the walls. So lots of fresh horses have come in for this second round, and especially with Prague Lions. That is the big change that stands out.
All right, so Prague Lions bringing in Niels Bruynseels on Deluxe Fun TNL, and of course Peter de Vos jumping on Claire makes a big call from them to try and hold on to this lead and try and keep themselves on top of the podium. Frederick de Backer, we will let you go. One of the many language options available to you in your commentary today here on GCTV. Stand by with us and stay with us here on GCTV as we prepare to get you closer and closer to the second round of Global Champions League Round 2. And of course, let's not forget, with it being Super Saturday, an LGCT Grand Prix of Cannes still to come. As we take a look at the overall standings, how does it look now before we go into the defining round in Cannes? How then will Berlin's lead hold up come the end of the weekend? They are only 10 points clear of the Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M. But with Berlin on 6 and Stockholm on a score of 4, it does favour the Swedes. Hamburg Giants in all sorts of trouble, having already lost a position at the end of Hamburg and being on an overnight score of 16 today, they might well finish way, way down and perhaps lose even more ground on the overall championship. Madrid in motion in a good position and will look to try and close that gap on Stockholm even further. And Prague Lions, if they go on to win today, if they go on to podium today, then they too enter that top 4 race. They too will enter the GCL Super Cup semi-final position. Bottom half of the table, Shanghai Swans, again, we've spoken about them in depth over the last few weeks, and now they find themselves on an overnight score of 4. So if they podium, they too can make up some ground and try and leapfrog the Cannes Stars and the Saint-Tropez Pirates come the end of the weekend. And Paris Panthers with that heavy score in the first round from Ben Mayer and Feltic HB on a score of 7. How much ground can they try and make up come the end of the weekend? You'll find that out all here on GCTV. We get ready to go back to Cannes and bring you second round of Global Champions League. New York Empire will be the first team to come out the gates. Hamburg Giants will be followed by Falconswatch United, by the Scandinavian Vikings, Istanbul Sultans, London Knights, Cannes Stars and the Paris Panthers. We will then take a break, come back to studio and look at what has happened in the first half of the competition. Stay with us here on GCTV. Round 2 of Global Champions League action live from Cannes comes your way shortly.